Welcome to Bitter Reality Brewing. This is the top 10 tips, tricks, recommendations, hacks, suggestions, awareness, whatever you want to call them. Go ahead, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate the sharing. That's been huge. If you see red down there, I'm not sure if you like beer. Yep, there you go. Hit that red. Yep, you definitely love beer. We're going to focus on safety this week for at least a little bit better than half, but then I've got 4 and 1 you definitely know, and I'm hoping 1 or maybe 2 you don't know so much. But I want to make sure we share things, even things that may seem obvious to some of us that may not be obvious to others. This right here, because I know I always say I share, and it's going on the 4th day in the keg, and it is looking almost crystal clear. It's getting there. Is a double IPA called Cascadian Rye. I haven't finished the video up. It hasn't been posted, but it will be here in the near future. Make sure you're subscribing so you catch that. The 2 pounds or 2 pounds, 3.5 ounces, because I really wanted 2.5 pounds of rye, is not the key. The key is I had a lot of Cascade hops. So I dropped in, we'll just say 20 ounces. 16 ounces between the boil and the whirlpool, and then another 4 ounces in dry hopping. Thought about going 24. I got lazy, but it came out amazing. It's got a nice bitter finish and lots of citrus, a hint of floral. Really, really nice. And I can kind of taste a little hint of spice that people say they get in Cascade, but I don't consider Cascade a spicy hop. But yeah, great, great beer. We're gonna jump right into this. This is week 28. Don't want to leave anybody hanging. Like I said, the first one's gonna be the most obvious that almost all of us know, but I'm gonna mention something in there if you hadn't thought about it. But number 1, Star San in a spray bottle. And I know you're all going, that's okay, I got better coming. But Star San in a spray bottle, not just for cleaning. I mean, I feel a little grit, which I can feel something. I clean. Spraying in here before I put the little caps on, spray and make sure it's clean. Things like that are great. But you can also, if you have it handy and you got to slide a carboy across something that's glass or something like, you can spray it down and it helps kind of create a little bit of a lubricant and slides it across. But I use that for everything. I'm constantly cleaning things before and after recording and every day in between pretty much. Number 2, and this is kind of that lubricant slash spray bottle thing, Keg Leak Detection. Get a bottle like this, fill it with something like a mild diluted, say Dawn dishwashing soap, that blue stuff. Put some water in it, but don't over dilute it. Make sure it's literally like you spray it, you get bubbles. You put it in your mouth and go, you blow bubbles. I've had several leak problems, which lately I've been running my CO2 blasting and it's all been great, no problems. But there for a while I was troubleshooting a problem and I was constantly spraying the little disconnects and spraying things and wasn't seeing the freaking bubbles. It was actually that part right there. It was actually leaking in there. So I took the seal, and that's why now whenever I put those in there, I always kind of wet them and they seem to seal better. But yeah, Dawn, mildly, I mean, if you were a kid like I was and you used to ride bicycles, that's how you used to help find leaks in your inner tubes. You could spray it and you could see a bubble and it'll start making little bubbles. It's the same theory, same concept. I know some people are a little younger than me, if not the majority, and they may not have grown up doing that, but simple one. Number 3. Now number 3, I'm gonna call it the Grainfather hack. But number 3 is compliments of a viewer from Simple Home Brew, hosted by Pierre. If you haven't checked out Simple Home Brew, check it out. And he's got this in an upcoming video, but basically, if you've ever taken that disc with the silicone and you gotta slide it down inside of that giant malt pipe that comes in the Grainfather, which I would be loving to show you one, but I sold mine a couple weeks ago. Yes, I sold all my Grainfathers, they're gone. But if you've ever dealt with that, and Anvil has the same issue, every all-in-one has this issue, is that when they're being machined and manufactured, there is a variation of, a millimeter or less than a millimeter. I don't know what the, allowable change can be, but that means that some people get it and it slides right in. Other people will get it and it slides with some tolerance. And then other people get that thing and they've got to sit and play, oh man, I can't get this in. The silicone keeps popping off. And if you've ever had any kind of a malt pipe like that where you have to drop the big metal filter in with that silicone, it can be a pain in the neck. I got really good at it, getting it wet and sliding in at a nice angle and popping it in. Occasionally it'd pop off. But this is awesome. So if you own a Grainfather or any of the all-in-one systems that have the silicone around the actual grill, we'll call it, or filter that goes in the very bottom. What they did is Pierre took the entire pipe and he put it into his mash water, let it get warm, get ready for mashing in. He took the actual mesh filter with the silicone still on it, and he put it in his freezer the night before. So basically, he took it out, screwed on his malt pipe, and it slid right in. Now, I would lift the basket out of the hot water, otherwise you're gonna defeat the purpose, but it slid right in, boom. He was set, first try, no multiple tries, awesome. Nice hack for anybody out there with a Grainfather that have to get that piece in there and have problems with it, with that silicone. And you don't have to leave the pipes on, you just take the filter and slide it in. I don't have room to put that in my freezer with the pipes, but awesome Grainfather hack. Thank you again for sharing that one, Pierre. Number 4, Pierre pointed this out too. Not everybody knows what rice hulls are for. So number 4, rice hulls. Let me explain it this way. We'll call it fiber. So if you're ever brewing with lots of wheat, rye, or especially any kind of flaked grain, like oatmeal. Think about oatmeal. You put oatmeal in a bowl, you add some hot water, you put it in the microwave, and then you get busy and you forget about it. You come back, it is like this gelatinous goop. It is just like one solid clump. Well, oatmeal, rye, things like that. That's why I say you kind of mix it up with the rest of the grains to kind of help. And hopefully the hulls from the other grain will help. Rice hulls are nothing but the outer shell of a rice. And it's very hard. It is, I want to say it's porous, but it's not porous in the way that it absorbs liquid. It actually allows liquid to flow through these little gaps. And they're like that, you know, and the little rice pops out of here, but it allows the liquid to flow. So if you get enough rice hulls, and a 16-ounce silo cup is about 3.5 ounces max. So you get a lot of rice hulls in a very small amount of weight, and you blend it up, it's going to help kind of create an extra fiber. So if your mash is being packed down because you're letting the water flow a little too fast, or from whatever reason, or you just have a ton of oatmeal, a ton of rye, or wheat. I've had problems with wheat. Yeah, rice hulls is, as a lot of people call them, the home brewing, cheap insurance. So rice hulls are the fiber to help disperse things and allow the water to flow better, or your wort to flow and touch, because you want it to touch as much of the starches as it can to pull it out of suspension so it can be boiled and converted to carbohydrate, or from carbohydrates to sugar. So see if we can do that one that way. Number 5, like I said, we're going into safety. Number 5, when you're brewing, closed-toed shoes. Yeah, I know you're like, really? Hey, I'm looking out for you here, but protect your feet. And yes, I will tell you for a fact, I have sneakers on almost all the time, and I have spilled boiling water across my sneakers, and it hurts like almighty hell. And yes, it's even harder because I got to get my foot out of the shoe, out of the sock. But had it hit bare skin, it probably would have done more damage. I have had where I've gotten a nice red mark across my foot, never had a blister, but closed-toed shoes just kind of help protect your feet while you're cooking. I know you're not expecting to splash boiling water on your feet, but I don't think any of us are looking to do that anytime soon. Number 6, and I know I may have mentioned this in a previous one to some degree, but like I said, I'm trying to focus on safety here. Number 6 is either silicone, which, you know, I've showed these before, little doggy handles, or my Spider-Man cooking gloves, protective gloves. I'm not going to say always have them on. I've had homebrewers that have mentioned you should always have them on. No, I disagree, but have them handy, know where they are. That way, if you have to move something that's really hot and you feel like you go to touch and go, wow, it's going to burn me. Don't be an idiot. Go grab something that's going to protect your hands. You know, the beer is going to help with some of that pain later, but it's not going to make the burn go away. So yeah, protective gloves or some silicone gloves. Number 7, and as you're getting older, especially I'm feeling it, even when you're younger, I have my oldest son's only 25 and he's already got some back issues, but use your legs, use your legs. And you're thinking, when I'm brewing, so you want me to do squats while I'm brewing? No. But when you have a big glass carboy, I know this is plastic, but a big glass carboy, and you're carrying it through your house from your fermenter, because my fermenter's on one end of the house, my keezer's here, and I've got to do things here. So yeah, use your legs, carry it where you go, set it down carefully. Don't use your back, look out for your back. If you hurt your back, let me give you a little motivation. If you hurt your back, I have found it is easy to find lots of people to help drink your beer. it is not as easy to have people come help you brew. And if you can't lift anything, you might not be able to actually brew. So think about, hey, take care of the legs so you can keep brewing. Number 8, GFCI. Yes, electrical safety. This is a ground fault circuit. It's an interrupter type outlet that has a special type of circuit. And I'm not an electrician by any means, but it will automatically shut off power directly at the outlet if it detects an electric fault, which means if there's a short, it'll go and stop. And you can hit the reset, and if the fault's not fixed, it's not gonna reset until it's fixed. Keep in mind, and I know a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't give a crap. We're dealing with liquid, plenty of amps, and the chance of, serious harm or even worse, yeah, just be safe. You're never gonna hear anybody died brewing beer. Instead, you're gonna hear someone was electrocuted and you're gonna go, oh, idiot, touched a little outlet or played with some wires. You never know what that person was doing. So be safe. Keep in mind, we're dealing in a wet environment, and I don't know if 110, 120 or 210, 220 is more dangerous. All I know is my wife doesn't like me playing with electricity for what she calls the safety of self and others. So let's just keep that in mind. Fault tolerance, be safe. Number 9, propane. That should be enough. I shouldn't have to say anything else, but always be aware, especially if there's a flame. And I'm just as much to blame because I have my all-in-one over here. I have my sparge water behind me, and I turn around and my leg's kind of getting hot and I'm like, whoa. I mean, I could easily set my pants on fire and not even realize it until they were on fire. So I have moved mine around, and that's actually what's helping me because I get distracted and I forget about it. And I mean, that's what I'm warning you, don't get distracted, don't forget about it, but it does happen. You get focused on something and you can't remember that it's back there because you're not thinking about it. So what I've found that kind of helps me is placement, all about placement. So what I do is as soon as I get ready, I make sure before that thing's even hot, I slide it over where I know it's going to be way out of my way. And the only way I'm going to get to it is to walk around something. That way I don't accidentally back into it or step into it. And no, I'm not doing it in the house. Definitely don't do propane in your house, but it helps. Placement. If I put it between me and something else, I know I can't accidentally step into it or catch on fire, should we say. So propane, be aware, be safe, and consider placement or placing things between you and it. So that way, if you're doing the all-in-one and you're doing like me and you're using propane to heat up your sparge water, it's a little safer that way. I've gotten too many times I've gotten close to it, so the placement is the only thing that's really kind of saving me, should we say. Number 10, limit drinking. Wait, let me finish because I know you're going, dude, I'm making beer, I want my beer. There's I'll say there's two mini groups. I won't say there's two groups. There's probably two groups. There's don't start drinking until you pitch the yeast. And then my side is limit consumption until after the yeast is pitched. I do the limit consumption. I usually don't have anything but coffee, maybe some tea, and then later in the evening or early evening, as I'm finishing up, cleaning up, getting things done, I might pop open one, or I may have already had a lighter one before that, but I kind of keep the ABV nice and low. I make sure I snack, I eat some food. I'm not slamming the beers in the beginning of the brew, and by the time it's done, I'm sloshed. That's just dangerous. So keep in mind, limit the drinking, or at least limit until the yeast is pitched. Thank you again for joining Bitter Reality Brewing. I know this one might not have been as exciting, but safety. Look out for yourself so you can continue enjoying home brewing. Don't forget, go ahead, like, subscribe, keep sharing. Definitely appreciate it. And this is week 28. Thank you again.